If you're a CDL truck driver and you can't clearly speak and read English, you could be out of service starting now. The CDL holder English proficiency is not something that's a brand new rule per se, but as of June 25th, 2025, it's now being enforced more than ever. So if you or someone you know cannot proficiently speak or read English, they could be in trouble. Have no fear. I'm going to explain everything and just give you a couple tips on how you could be safe and just tell you some things so that you can stay educated about what's going on in the CDL world as well. Remember, I'm not here to scare you. I'm here to prepare you. With the FMCSA now strictly enforcing this English proficiency thing for all CDL holders, it can put many drivers at risk of losing their income overnight. So don't let it be you. What's going on, everybody? My name is Cole. I'm a state DOT cop, and today I'm going to break down this topic of the English proficiency for CDL holders for you right now. So if you're a CDL driver in general, or if you're an owner operator, listen up because this video is for you. So what changed on June 25th, 2025? Transportation Secretary Sean P. Duffy signed an official order giving inspectors clear guidance to actively enforce this long-standing English proficiency protocol. So in other words, CDL drivers must be able to read, speak, and understand English well enough to convert with officers, understand traffic signs, fill out reports, and follow verbal directions. Again, I want to make it clear, this rule has been around for years, a very long time, but now it's been approved to be enforced, and it's a massive priority. And you may be asking yourself, why? Why now? What exactly sparked this? And I'm going to tell you, here's a kicker. FMCSA reviewed incident reports, inspection records, and safety audits, and they found that massive communication breakdowns and misunderstandings were leading to misunderstood directions, incorrect logbook entries, missed safety steps, and even fatal and non-fatal crashes. So instead of just ignoring the language gap completely, they made it a priority enforcement item for DOT officers across the country. And get this, over 350,000 CDL drivers may not meet the current English proficiency standards. And that's what's pretty much got the whole CDL industry buzzing right now. If you're wondering, well, what if you don't meet the requirements? I'm about to tell you right now. So this is where it gets real. If you get pulled over, or if you get pulled, into a weigh station for a DOT inspection, you can't understand, any directions, you can't understand any verbal, anything at all, you can't read the signs, you could be put out of service immediately. You could be denied entry into the US if you're a foreign operator. You can be flagged for further audits and compliance reviews, or worse, your company can face penalties too. And if you're an owner operator, yeah, that's you. And I've seen this firsthand too. Drivers are having a hard time understanding, basic English, and inspectors are kind of forced to take action on the spot. Remember, it's not about accents, it's not about perfection, it's about basic communication and safety. Have no fear. Here's what you can do right now to get or stay in compliance. Practice speaking English daily. So what I would suggest, and I've said this to a couple people so far, pick out the things that us DOT officers say to you during an inspection or when we pull you over, and just practice and learn those things first. That way you will be proficient enough in order to pass a level 1, 2, or 3 DOT inspection, and you'll be able to speak to us. And that's really all you need to do. If you're fluent but shy, just practice, become confident with it. Again, like I said, you need to understand common DOT questions. You can use language support apps like Duolingo, Babbel, and YouTube in general is a great spot to help you learn English or help you learn certain English words that we use a lot when speaking to you. Know the regulation for the English proficiency for CDL drivers and screenshot it, print it off, have it with you, know it well. It's 391.11b2. Look it up right now. And the other thing is that you got to advocate for yourself. If you know that you can speak English, if you know that you can understand English and read these signs, and maybe just a communication gap happen where the inspector is not understanding you fully, don't sit there and just be quiet. Explain what's going on. Stay calm, stay respectful, and just respond as confidently as you possibly can. I will tell you, there has been multiple times so far where I'm speaking with the driver. I can tell that they're not fluent with English, but they can understand enough of what I am saying to them to where they still pass their DOT inspection, even if it's a level 1, because they know when I say fire extinguisher, they know what it is. When I say triangles, left turn signal, right turn signal, they know all of the directives, and that really gets them off the hook, and they're on their way because they're proficient enough that I can communicate with them. So this is good for the industry, but also very controversial, and I see both sides of it. Let's be real, the rule does make the road safer, but again, like I said, it is controversial, and a lot of the non-English speaking or understanding CDL drivers do feel targeted. and others straight up just feel unprepared and blindsided by this being enacted like they feel overnight. But at the end of the day, being able to communicate effectively, read English, speak English and understand it is the difference between a clean inspection, an out of service order, or a crash or not crash. As DOT cops, we do not judge based on where you are from, trust me, but we do care if you can understand signs, follow instructions, and know how to stay safe on the road. Now, there's an English proficiency test that we give you, and if you pass this test, you're going to be just fine. You're not going to be put out of service. So stay tuned because I'm going to explain that to you right now. Now, many drivers don't know this, but we as DOT inspectors can and do give you a quick English proficiency test while we're speaking with you to see if you're proficient enough in English language or for the inspection to continue as needed. Now, it's not some crazy legitimate written exam or anything like that. It's just going to be a couple questions and maybe involving a sheet of paper with a couple road signs to see if you can understand the signs or not. And that's pretty much it. If you can nail that, if you can understand road signs, if you can understand signs that say all trucks stop, and you can understand a left turn signal, right turn signal, where you're coming from and going to, you will 100% be just fine. Now, if during this proficiency exam you seem completely lost or you're giving unrelated answers to all questions and you just don't know what's going on, that DOT inspector might mark you down for a violation of the English proficiency non-compliance, and you don't want that on your record. So if you've ever thought, oh, they're not allowed to test me, I'm telling you right now, yes we are, and yes we do. We're also being told to use testing more often, and just so that way it's going to be more fair, right? Because how unfair would it be if a driver pulls up, we assume or see that they can't speak English because they're not understanding what we're saying to them right away, and then we just say, well, this person's probably out of service. It's not very fair, right? So we want to give people a fair chance. That's why the testing is working in your favor. This English proficiency enforcement for CDL holders is throwing a lot of drivers for a loop because there are several steps behind the 8 ball, they feel like. Many people don't even know how to pass a level 1 inspection. That's why up there somewhere is going to be linked my video on how you can pass your next level 1 DOT inspection. So my personal take, this is not something I do often on this channel, but my personal take on this whole thing is that as someone who does these inspections every single week, here's my advice. If you're an owner-operator or fleet owner, invest in language support for you or your drivers. If you're a driver, take pride in learning what you need to know and learn in order to stay safe past inspections and keep rolling. And if you're watching this video because you're confused, that's actually a good sign because you're willing to research and learn. So now you know, English proficiency enforcement is real and it is in full effect. It's already affecting drivers all over the country, so don't be the one to be put out of service. Try to start preparing yourself now as much as possible. And again, I'm not saying you have to learn the whole English language overnight. Start learning, certain words, certain buzz phrases that we use so you'll know what's going on. If you learned something new from this video, if you got any value at all, hit that like, subscribe button, share my channel and this video with any one of your drivers that may need it.